All right. We are going live. Cool. Thanks for showing up today. Whether you're watching live or on a replay, I appreciate you showing up to do your practice with me today. My name's Aubrey. If I've not met you in person, I hope to after all of our virtual stuff is, we'll probably keep streaming virtual classes, but I hope to see you in person once the gym is back and running. Today for this Power Flow class, we're going to do a little bit of work with a strap. So if you don't have a yoga strap, that's okay. If you have a towel or just anything like kind of this width, like maybe 2 inches across or wider, like I said, you can use a towel to give yourself some support. This can come in handy to deepen stretches and create just a little bit more of a, I guess, some challenge in a couple different poses. So I'm excited to introduce that with you guys. Yay, you're back. All right, Shannon and the girls. So in case you missed it, we're using straps tonight. So you can grab like hand towels or you can grab straps if you do have straps. Yeah, that's going to be the prop work tonight. We won't use it for a little bit. We're going to do some flow first. And then, yeah, then we'll get rolling on that. So once you're all set, meet me in child's pose. So in this child's pose today, take a few deep breaths. And if you have a preferred way to move around in your child's pose, please do that. You can walk your hands over to the right side. And walk your hands over to the left side, or do whatever feels good in your body today. Finish whatever motions you were taking in your child's pose. Reset your hands and then tuck your toes under, press back for downward facing dog. Move however it feels good here as well. And if you've never tried staying still in this first down dog, you might check it out and see how it feels. So do what works. We'll stay here for a couple breaths. Maybe you can press into your hands a little more. Get your chest a little further back towards your thighs. Breathe out all your air. Walk your feet all the way up to the very top of your mat. Grab your elbows for ragdoll pose. Go ahead and drape over your thighs here. Again, you can sway, you can stay still. Do something that feels right. Breathe out, drop your hands down low. Inhale, extended mountain pose. Press your hands together, take them to your heart. And we will officially begin our practice together with one chant of Om. Exhale all the way out. Take a deep breath in. All right, let's warm up with some sun A's. Take a breath in, reach to the sky for mountain. Breathe out, fold forward. Breathe in, halfway lift. Step back, plank pose. Just for this first round, to get really solid in your plank. And this will be the foundation for your chaturanga. So squeeze your legs, squeeze your belly tight. Breathe in, shift forward. Now you chaturanga, breathe out. Inhale, lift your chest, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And we'll stay here for just a moment. Adjust your fingers really wide. Press firmly into the floor. And then breathe out all your air. Rise up to your tippy toes. Bend your knees. Walk or jump to the top of your mat. Halfway lift. Take a breath. Forward fold. Let your breath come out. Extended mountain pose. Reach up. Forward fold. Reach down. Halfway lift. Push your chest forward. Chaturanga right into it. Go ahead. Take your push up. Upward facing dog. Take an inhale. Downward facing dog. Exhale out. Right away, let's go another round. Lift your heels. Bend your knees and go lightly forward to your hands. Halfway lift. Exhale, bow forward. Extended mountain, stretch out and up. Fold down, let your air flow out. Halfway lift. Flow, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, breathe in. Down dog, breathe out. One more cycle of sun A. Lift your heels, bend your knees, jump or step or float. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Extended mountain. Take a full body stretch. Lean back if it works for you. Forward fold. Halfway up. Take a breath. Chaturanga. Flow down. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. And we'll reset in our down dogs here. Take a moment. Check in with your foundation, your hands and feet. Check in with your breathing. Make sure it's nice and deep. And we'll move through some sun salutation B now. Exhale out one more time. Lift up to your toes. Take your knees down. Walk, step, or jump forward. Halfway lift. Exhale, bow. Drop your head. Chair pose. Sit down low. Lift your toes up and put more weight into your heels. You want to feel yourself sitting back so your knees are close to right over your ankles. That's what you're going for. We'll stay here for just a little longer. Stay with me and breathe for 3. Sit a little bit lower for 2. Take an inhale. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift, deep breath. Step back for your chaturanga, flow down. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take your right foot to the top of your mat, warrior 1. So take a second, check in with your feet here. Adjust so your left hip bone is moving forward in alignment with your right. So you're trying to get both hips angling straight forward. If it helps you, you can even grab your hips and assist yourself into that rotation here. Once you've got that, take your arms up high. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, step forward, mountain pose. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Switch legs, warrior 1 on the left side. So adjust your feet so they're about as wide as your hips, spaced out to the left and the right. That will help you create that turning of your right hip forward and the pulling back of your left hip. So maybe you can take your feet wider apart, wider front to back. And then next step, once you're all set, arms to the sky. Inhale, extend. Sit into it and then jump forward, mountain pose. Inhale for chair. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Chaturanga. Breathe out as you flow. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Reset with a breath in. Let all your air out. Lift your heels up. Bend your knees. Walk or step to the top. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Sit down for your chair pose. And then fold right back. Exhale it out. Halfway lifts. Then you flow, chaturanga. You can always take your knees down if it feels like a lot. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward dog. Step forward with your right foot. Warrior one. Inhale up. Exhale, stay in the pose. Turn your left hip bone forward. Inhale, reach a little more. Exhale, step forward, mountain pose. Inhale for chair. Exhale, fold in half. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out, chaturanga, step or jump back. Upward facing dog. Downward dog. Take your left foot to the top, warrior one. Inhale, reach. Exhale, deepen. On your breath in, reach a little more. Step forward, mountain pose. Take an inhale for chair. Exhale, fold down. Halfway up, breathe in. And then slide your left foot back so you're in a low lunge. We're going to skip that chaturanga. It feels like it's time to start slowing down. I feel like you might have built some heat here, so that's good news. At least I'm feeling it. So now let's set up for a twist. Take your right arm up towards the ceiling. You can keep your left hand on the floor if that feels best. Or if you've got a prop handy, it might even feel good to place it underneath your left fingers. Now place your bottom hand all the way flat on whatever you're touching. Now for the really fun part, turn onto the pinky edge of your back foot, swing your front foot behind you for side plank. So once you're here, maybe you take your top foot up towards the ceiling. That's up to you. That's how you deepen it. Stay with me and breathe. 3, 2. Take your hands down. Keep your right foot up. Three-legged dog. Breathe in. Pull your knee towards your nose. Breathe out. Step up. Crescent lunge. Now we're a little bit deeper into the strengthening here. Similar pose to the low lunge, but now a little more balance because you have fewer points of contact on the floor. So sit low into your front leg. If your knee is going past your ankle, draw it back just a little, or scoot your feet further front and back. Take a breath in. Turn your body open to the side, warrior two. So this is the first place where you could use your strap. You set up for side angle lunge. And if you're going for a full bind and you've never tried it before, this is how you can use the strap. So for a half bind, you can take your left hand behind your back. Okay, so you're opening up the front side of your shoulder here. To create or simulate the full bind, you can take the strap in your right hand or the towel, whatever you've got, take it in front of your leg, and then try to feed it to your hand back behind you. The other way you can do this is if you're having trouble feeding it that way, take the strap in your top hand as you wrap it around, and then grab on with your bottom hand. So you've got a full bind right here with a little assistance. Once you've got the bind, I know your front leg is feeling it, push into your back foot and try to rotate your chest up towards the ceiling. Stay with me for 3, for 2. Take your arms apart, straighten your front leg. You can let the strap go and reverse this triangle pose. Nice stretching out. Take one more breath here. And then cartwheel down to the floor. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Lift your heels up. Take your knees down. Spring or step forward. Halfway lift. Exhale, bow down. Halfway lift again. This time take your right foot back. Low lunge. So take a second to get deep into your stretch here. You can shift back and forth if that feels good. Next step, extend your left arm high to the sky. A low crescent lunge twist. Move your eyes wherever it feels best for your neck here. Keep your breath steady and strong. And then make your bottom hand strong. Stretch out your fingers, place your hand flat if it's not already. And then come around for side plank. Take your left foot to meet your right. After you've made it to your side plank, you can take your top leg up if you want to. You can take your eyes up if you want to. There are so many levels you can go to here. Stay with me for 3. Keep breathing for 2. 1, 3-legged dog. Extend your left leg high. Pull your knee towards your face. Step through for crescent lunge. Catch your breath a little bit. Make your adjustments with your feet. Squeeze your back leg so much that your knee comes further away from the floor. Arms go up last. And then on the next inhale, you open warrior 2. So make sure your strap or your towel is handy. We're coming into the bind. So you can try it again, half bind, where your right hand goes behind your back. You can grab this strap or towel in that hand. Let it drop behind you. And then with your other hand, reach in front, the front side of your leg, grab the strap, and then open your chest up. So you're trying not to dip down too low. You're trying to turn your ribs up towards the ceiling. Again, utilize your back foot. You got this. Deep breaths. 3. Keep your belly tight. 2. 1. Unbind. Let the strap fall. Take a reverse triangle. Reach behind you. And another breath in. Take a big cartwheel down to the floor. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Lift your heels. Bend your knees. Jump or walk forward. Take a halfway lift. Exhale, bow. Sit down for chair pose. All right, we're going to go for chair with a twist. Take your hands together in front of you. Take a deep breath. Revolve to the right side. Check in with your knees. See if you've got one knee pulling forward. You might have to pull your left hip back. Sit your tailbone lower than your chest. Deep breaths. Sit down 2 more inches. Breathe out. Inhale, chair pose in the middle. Reach your arms high. Forward fold. Let the air flow out. Step your feet hip width distance. Grab your big toes with your peace fingers. And if you cannot reach your feet very easily, the strap is there. You can slide the strap underneath the soles of your feet. Again, you are folding, so just be mindful of your knees. Keep a little softness there, and then you can use the strap to assist your chest down towards the floor. Let your head dangle down. Take another inhale here. Exhale, let that go. If you use the prop, slide it off to the side. Chair pose. Press your hands to your hearts. Inhale here. Exhale, twist. Use your elbow to drive your heart up towards your thumbs. Stay with your breathing here. The longer you make your spine, so the more you lengthen your chest away from your hips, the more your body will start to twist. So just notice that. Stay long here. Deep breaths for 3. Can you press a little more into your arms? 2. Breathe in. Breathe out and fold. One more time. Option to use the strap is there. If you don't want or need the strap, you can take gorilla pose with your hands underneath your feet. Let your head drop. While you're here in your fold, tilt your tailbone up towards the ceiling so you can feel a little extra stretch in your hamstrings. Let your hands slide out. Now's your time to practice crow pose. If you're at home, you're very lucky. You can place a pillow underneath your face if you're worried about crash landing. In the crow pose alignment, remember to keep your hips up high. Keep your eyeballs looking forward. If you look towards your feet, you might somersault, which is also a lot of fun. But decide what you need here. Stay with me for deep breaths. Maybe you can get your feet higher up towards your tailbone. We'll take one more breath together. Exhale, yogi squat. Set your feet down. Use your elbows to press your knees out and draw in with your knees at the same time. So you're creating a little bit of tension here. Lift your hips up 2 more inches. Lots of strength through your core right now. Keep that. One more time, crow pose. Hands down, tail lifted. Take a deep breath. And you can either yogi squat and then go to chaturanga, or you can jump straight back. Go for it. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Inhale. Downward dog. Clear your air out. Walk your feet to the top of your mat, or jump if you prefer jumping. Once you get there, let your head drop down. Take a deep fold. Deep exhale. Rise up for extended mountain. Eagle pose, right side. So take your right leg on the top, right elbow on the bottom. Keep your gaze moving forward. And every time you exhale, create more strength. So more engagement through some part of your body. It could be your forearms. It could be your core. Pick a spot to strengthen on every exhale. Unwind on the inhale, mountain pose. Switch to the other side, eagle pose. Keep your eyes on one point. This time, focus on your inhales. And on your inhales, create the action of length. So that could mean drawing your head up higher. Could mean stretching your back towards the sky, even though your legs are sitting low. Focus on your breaths in. On your next breath in, mountain pose, reach up. And now get your strap or towel ready. We're going to move to standing leg raise. And to set this up, you want to first set it up like a jump rope. If you've got like a hand towel, you can come into a forward fold. Since you have a little bit less length here, come into a forward fold and slip the towel or the strap underneath your right foot and grip both ends of the strap or towel with your right hand. All right, so notice this is going to be the foot that goes up. So take your left hand to your left hip, and while you stand up, push all the weight into your left foot. Stand up. You can keep your hand close to your foot here. So you can have your knee on the inside or the outside. It's really just about having the practice here of balancing. So just focus on balancing in this position right now. Once you feel steady, if you don't feel steady, you can stay just like this. When you do, you can start to extend your leg forward. And when I extend my leg forward, I'm keeping my arm long and then drawing my shoulder back. So my hand is sliding down the strap. So let your hand slide down until your shoulders feel even. And once you've got that, open your leg out to the right. Open your other arm out to the left. Next step, move your eyes over your left shoulder. Then take it open 2 more inches on both sides. See what happens. Come back to center. Switch your grip now. Grab the strap with your left hand. Take your right hand back behind you. This is called dancing Shiva. It's a little twist now. Focus on lifting up through the crown of your head. Come back to center. Take the strap back in your right hand and come back the way you came in. Gently rest your right foot on the floor. Let your arms dangle down, wiggle them out, and then we switch to the other side. Take the strap or towel underneath your left foot now. We start with the same hand on the foot. So grab the strap with both ends in your left hand, right hand to your hip. You will be standing on your right foot. So here we go. Press up to standing. Keep your hand close to your foot. This is where it starts. When you feel stability happening, draw your shoulders, plug them in together behind you. Keep that same connection of your shoulder blades as you straighten your leg forward. Your hand will slide down the strap. That is what you're looking for. You don't need to keep your hand close to your foot. It's more about keeping mountain pose through your back. Now that you've got the extension, open up to the left. And then open up to the right. The next phase would be moving your eyes to the right side. If you wiggle, that's normal. How much wider can you open? Come back to the center. Now we move to dancing Shiva. Grab the strap with your right hand. Same idea. Draw your shoulders in together behind you. And then extend your left arm back. Your eyes can go back to follow your left thumb. Hug in to lift up more. Take your hand back to center. Grab the strap in your left hand. Right hands to your hip. And then gently release. Take the strap off to the side. Step your feet into somewhere in between a wide-legged fold and a regular fold. So in the middle, take a second just to let yourself dangle out before we go to the next balancing strap pose here. This one has a little different setup. Same idea, jump rope style first. This time, step in front of the strap or the towel with your left foot. You might be a little bit lower to the ground if you've got the towel, so just keep that in mind. You can start from a forward fold. Grab the strap around your right ankle here. So basically what you're doing, you can set up the same way as we did in the standing leg raise. Take your left hand to your left hip. Stand up on one leg. This time your foot goes back behind you. So I'm trying to scoot the strap so it's kind of on the top side of my right foot. Next thing I do after this, I turn. I'm letting my hand slide away from my foot as I turn my elbow. So basically, I've got the standing position. I let my hand slide away from my foot till my elbow points to the ceiling. So turn your elbow towards the ceiling. Next step, you take your left hand, grab the strap too. If your hand slides up even further away from your foot, that is okay. If you've got a hand towel, this might be kind of a struggle right now. I'm feeling for you. Just know that you can always do, if you don't have the prop, you can go to dancer's pose and grab your foot with your right hand, lift your left hand up. If you're going for the prop variation, both hands go to the strap or the towel. Keep walking your hands down the strap towards your foot. It is a big chest opener and a big hip opener. You got one more breath. Gently slide your foot down to the floor. Release it. Whew. And then we set up for the other side. Dancer's pose with the strap or the towel. Set up your jump rope. Step in front. This time, your right foot goes in front. Left foot is in the strap. You can clasp it. Both hands or both sides of the strap in your left hand. Pick up your foot and then rotate your elbow till it points up. Once it's pointing up, reach back with your right hand. If you can't grab the strap yet, you can slide your hand closer to your head. Grip the strap with both hands. And your leg's not really doing too much action, like your lifted leg is not. So you're essentially reeling in your foot up towards your hands. Remember regular dancer's poses there. Hopefully you're on a sturdy floor right now. Take some deep breaths here. If you want to keep going, you can keep drawing your elbows back behind you to really stretch out your chest. Keep your eyes steady. 2 more breaths. 1 more inhale. Gently release your foot to the floor. Oh my goodness. Let the strap come off to the side. We'll do a tree pose. Right foot against your left leg. Take your hands together in whatever fashion you feel. If you'd rather open your arms up to a V shape, take them back behind you in a bind. Do something that feels awesome and expressive for you. Continue to open your hips by drawing your right knee back behind you. Breathe in. Turn your foot back all the way to the floor. 1 more time. Tree pose, second side. Slow, intentional breaths. To deepen your tree pose, you can keep moving your gaze up, or you can start closing your eyes. So in yoga, it can make the practice more meaningful if you continue to deepen the poses. If the poses are easy every time, or there's no play or exploration, there's no real chance for growth. So give yourself the opportunity to expand a little bit. Take a risk. Maybe take a back bend. Who knows? Go to some edge that feels a little scary. Take an inhale. Press your hands together. If they left your heart, come down with your left foot and let's flow. Mountain pose, reach high. Forward fold, reach low. Halfway lifts, inhale deeply. Chaturanga. It's been a while since we chaturanga'd. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward, triangle pose. And you can even set up in triangle with a bind, since you've got the strap, it might be a little more accessible. To do the bind, it's just like your side angle lunge. You can take the strap in both hands, the right hand, so your right hand will go in front of your right leg, reach back behind you to grab the strap, and then turn your chest up towards the ceiling. If you've got a full bind, that's cool too. As long as your chest isn't dipping too low, continue to lengthen it out and then rotate. Exhale out. Inhale, rise up. And then let's set up for the other side right from here. Triangle pose. Now turn your left foot facing the back edge of your mat. Once again, you can create a half bind or a full bind. Continue to reach your heart away from your hips. Create some expansion through your back. Exhale one more time. Let go of the bind if you created that. Take your prop off to the side, side facing wide-legged forward fold or headstand. So you can take your hands on the floor, grab your big toes, use your hands to assist you. A couple previous classes, I walked through some headstand instructions. So if you ever need to go back, those are on our CJJF channel. If you're really lucky and you're up against a wall, you can start to do that work, especially if you've been a little hesitant in live classes. You can use the wall to support you. Otherwise, just enjoy the deep stretch here. Breathe all your air out. Let go of whatever bind you have. Come up to standing. Turn your feet towards the back of your mat. Pyramid pose with your left foot facing forward. So make your hip adjustments here. Then lean your chest towards your front foot. After you've stretched it out, let your head drop down. And you can let your hands drop down too. Deep breaths, y'all. Turn your right hip forward more. Pull your left hip bone back. I know if your hamstrings are tight, this is going to be pretty intense. If you need a little more, or you know you have a little further to go, if you're being really honest with yourself, adjust your back foot according to what your body's looking for now. Exhale out one more time. With a strong core, lift yourself up. And then this is a pretty cool transition. Pivot yourself, like kind of pick up your heels, turn forward. You'll have to adjust your feet left and right just a little. Now you're facing the opposite way for pyramid. Other leg forward, same idea, lengthen out. And then let your head and hands drop somewhere that feels supportive for you. Notice the angle of your hips. If they're opening out to the left, adjust, turn your left hip forward more. Check in with your neck and see if you're actually relaxing or if you're just pretending. I noticed I was holding some tension just now. Relax your jaw as well. Now's the time to step back a little more if you've got it. Do what you need to do, or step up. Just feel it out here. And we'll take another breath together. Inhale deeply. Let all your air out. Lift up your chest. Take a big step forward. Extended mountain pose. Lift your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lifts. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog, lift up. Downward facing dog, press back. Take your right leg up to the ceiling for three-legged dog. This time, bend your knee, open up your hip, and then take your foot all the way over, flip dog. Keep your left hand planted, reach your right arm up towards the ceiling or towards the wall behind you. Open up your chest. Someday this will turn into a full wheel. Keep driving your feet into the floor. Flip back around, downward facing dog. Three-legged dog, other leg goes high, left leg up. Bend your knee, rotate open, flip dog, other side. The more you lift your hips, it's crazy. The more you lift your hips, the more you will get your chest closer to the ground. Stay with it for 3, for 2. Flip around, downward facing dog. Come forward for your plank. Take a deep inhale. And then slow motion all the way to your belly. Lay one cheek on the floor. This is a good place to open your mouth and clear some air. Turn your face the other way, same thing. Release some steam. And then turn your face forward. We'll do some locust pose. Reach your arms in front of you, also called Supermans, depending on where you learned this. Go ahead and lift your arms, lift your legs. Deep breaths for 3. Go up a little higher, 2. 1, lower down. Now take your arms to airplane arms here. Reach towards your hips. On your next breath, lift everything up. Arms, legs. Try to get one more set of ribs off the floor. Bend both knees. Reach back. Floor bow. You can also do one at a time. Do what you need to do. Take one more inhale. Lift your heels higher. Exhale low. One more round. Come back for your floor bow. Kick into your hands. Open across your chest. Lift the top of your head up towards the ceiling. Give your neck some room. On your next breath out, lower down. Let go of your feet or just your foot if you had one. Move them left and right. Set your hands up for one more upward facing dog, the strongest one ever. Press into the tops of your feet, lift your heart, and then notice where your chest is positioned. If you feel like you're way back past, like behind your wrists, drag your hips forward. Try to pull your chest through your arms here. When you breathe out, downward facing dog. This is your time to practice jumping through. Here we go. Lift your heels. Bend your knees. Maybe you cross your ankles before you jump. Try it out. Land on your seat and then all the way on your back. Bridge pose. Lift your hips. And if you're super lucky and you have a prop, you can slide your blocker pillow underneath your sacrum here. Go for an easy bridge, a lazy bridge. That's totally up to you. If you want to keep the activity going, just use your muscles to stay lifted. Take another inhale. If you're lifting without the prop, now you come down. 2 more times. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift back up. Keep your belly engaged. When you squeeze your core, you might not lift up as high. That's okay. If you're feeling any sort of tension in your low back, focus on turning your tailbone towards your heels, like a little rotation here in your pelvis. Keep all of that. You can either stay in your bridge, or if you haven't yet, you can go up to wheel pose. We're going to be here for a couple counts. So go to whatever you want. If you're doing a really strong bridge and you need some more, or you're doing a really strong wheel, you can lift one foot. And then switch feet if you lifted. We're gonna hold for 3, for 2, 1. Lower down to the floor. If you've been using the prop, scoot it off to the side. Take a butterfly pose. Feel your heartbeat. And then move to happy baby. You can grab your feet or your legs, rock left and right. Take your legs up to the ceiling. And then take your fingertips behind your head, lift your shoulders up, and we're just gonna pulse up towards the sky here for 10, 9, 8, 7. These little exhales as you go up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop your right foot to hover. Keep going. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 10 more. Other leg. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hug your knees. Take yourself up to boat pose. So boat, you can grab your knees to stay steady at first. Once you've got your foundation, sits bones, do some rowing on each side. So twist to the right, twist to the left, right side, left side. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Toss your oar aside, take your arms up high, boat just for one breath. Lay down on the floor, stretch your body out. And then hug your knees in nice and close. You can rock up and down a few times. And then take a flow all the way back to downward facing dog. After that core work, up dog might feel nice, just to open up through all the toughness you built through your abs. Once you've made it back to your downward facing dog, take a second just to reconnect with your hands. Take your right foot up towards the ceiling. Draw your knee towards your nose. Step through. Lower your left knee down on the floor. We're coming to a modified crescent lunge here. So modified crescent means your back knee goes on the floor or the mats. If you've got a towel and you need a little extra cushion under your knee, you can certainly do that. The alternative would be to roll up your mat just a little where your knee is placed. Give yourself a little more cushion here. And then next step, your arms come up towards the ceiling. Something else I've noticed about this low crescent is if I take my knee back a little further to where I'm resting just above my kneecap, it takes the pressure off. So just make your adjustments. Just explore what works for your knees. Take your hands down to frame your right foot. Straighten your right leg out. Half splits. The half splits, you're not feeling too much sensation, you can continue scooting your back knee closer to the back edge of your mat. If you've got a prop handy, you can even place it underneath your right hip to keep you stable. Give yourself a little more foundation. No matter what your depth is, it doesn't really matter. It's all about you creating your own practice, going to your own edge. Yoga is definitely not a competition sport. Every body's different. Every day is different. So even if you're competing against yourself, it's better just to treat every instance as brand new. There is no competition. And then come back the way you came in. So reset your knee, reset your front foot, step back for your downward facing dog. Move your feet around if you need to. And then we'll go for low lunge with your left leg forward. Crescent style, so your chest comes up. Take some movements with your back knee so you feel all right to balance on it. Arms can come up. Slow your breathing here. And the more you tilt, just like I was saying in bridge pose and wheel, the more you tilt your tailbone down, lift the front of your pelvis up, you're going to feel it create some length in your low back. And in this instance, you'll feel it stretching out the front of your right leg. And take your hands down on either side of your left foot. Turn your left toes up towards the ceiling. Sit back for your half split. And then just like all of our closed hip positions, so if my hips are trying to face the same way, you want to emphasize that motion. So in this case, turn your right hip forward, draw your left hip bone back. Most likely it will intensify the stretch. Maybe it's time for you to deepen your pose. Maybe you're feeling good where you are. Just respect the current moment, what your body's asking for right now. Notice how your back is positioned. If you're kind of hunching over or rounding, take a second to draw your shoulder blades in. We'll stay for one more breath. On your exhale, take your front foot back on the floor, adjust yourself, and then come down to your seated position. Both legs out in front of you. If you need the towel or strap to support your fold here, feel free to use it. You can wrap it around your feet, grab the strap, and then draw your chest forward. Even if you're feeling pretty mobile in this position, the strap can be helpful for you to gauge where neutral is with your back. So rather than drawing forward like this, let your hands slide down the strap or towel so your shoulders come close together. You don't necessarily have to reach all the way down to your feet to create a really good stretch for your hamstrings and a lot of openness in your spine. If you're feeling like you don't have as much sensation, you can always keep walking your hands further down. Continue plugging your shoulder blades towards each other. All right, breathe out one more time. Let go of the strap. Keep it close by. Take a brief reverse tabletop or reverse plank to undo the fold, or at least to open up one more time along your fronts. Your head can drop back last if it feels okay for you. Press your hips up one more inch. Lower down to the mat. Take your legs up for a waterfall pose. Keep your hips resting on the floor. This is where the strap is going to come back into play here. So take the strap around the arch of your right foot and drop your left foot all the way down to the floor. You can either have your leg extended, or if it feels better for you, you can place your foot flat on the ground. Next step, Take your foot out to the side. This is just like our standing leg raise, but now gravity is assisting your hip to open. Again, if it feels better to have the support of your left foot on the floor, you can certainly do that. Take your foot back through center. Take the strap in the opposite hand and just notice if your shoulders popped up off the floor, draw your hands down the strap, both shoulders on the mat. Now take your foot across your body, a different variation of supine twist. You can take your eyes across to the right side of your body here. Move your foot back to the ceiling and then we switch sides. Slide the strap in to the arch of your left foot. Extend your right leg out long or place your right foot on the floor. We'll go open first. Take your left foot out to the side. You can move your head the opposite direction. Move your foot back through so you can grab the strap in your right hand now. Take your foot all the way across. Doesn't matter if your foot reaches the floor or not. Use your breath to slow everything down. Take your foot to the middle. Let the strap or towel slide off. Scoot it over to the side. Take a butterfly pose. Let your feet touch. Gently walk your shoulder blades closer underneath your back. And we are almost to the end here. Let's breathe together in through your nose. Open your mouth and sigh out. It is time for Shavasana. You can stay in butterfly legs if that feels comfortable. You can slide your legs out long, or you can place your feet flat on the floor and let your knees rest gently against one another. And for this resting pose, stay in touch with your breath. So it doesn't have to be audible. In fact, you can actually practice just watching your breath, doing your best to step out of the way and observe it without trying to manipulate it too much. Just see how your breath flows naturally. And what's interesting is as soon as you start to observe something, it wants to change all by itself. So if there's anything that you want to put your attention on, maybe make some changes, sometimes all it takes is a noticing, an awareness. So just like yoga practice is a chance for you to grow and expand, it's also a chance for you to become really aware. Just notice how your observation can change your experience. And in a way that is expanding and deepening all by itself. Enjoy the next few breaths. Just watching, feeling. Inhale deeply. Let the air flow out of your mouth. Stretch out your toes and your fingers. And then your whole body. Give yourself some length here. Next time you breathe out, you can curl your knees into your chest. Rock onto one side for infant's pose. And come up to a seated position. Any comfortable seat is perfect. Touch your hands together at heart center. And we will close this practice tonight with one final Om together. Breathe out. Inhale. Take your thumbs to touch your third eye. And let us bow together as we honor one another and the highest in ourselves and each other. Namaste. Thank you guys so much for showing up tonight or this morning or whenever you happen to watch this video. If you are a member at CJJF, you can check out the app for some more video content. I'm sharing some tips every week. If there's a request that you have for something specific you want to learn in the next class, you can certainly pop into the chat or send me a message. Yoga straps, if you don't have one, if you were using a towel today, yoga straps you can find on Amazon. I know sometimes shipping might be a little different right now, but it's a really excellent tool to deepen some poses, to assist you in stretches, to help lengthen your arms for any positions that maybe wouldn't be accessible otherwise. So I highly, highly recommend that. If you have questions or comments, let me know. I so appreciate your time and your energy. Thank you so much. And I will see you for the next class. We'll be live again tomorrow, 7:30. So come join us if you can. And enjoy your night, y'all. See you soon.